Welcome to another episode of the Dietitian Against Diets. I am excited to tell you about a great friend of mine. His name is Bryce Mitchell. If you haven't heard of him, he is a personal trainer and owner of New Era Fitness. He is a very unique gentleman and has a lot of perspective on how he interacts health and wellness into his life. So I can't wait for you to hear more about him. But before we go into the interview, we're going to have to give a acknowledgement to some of our partners here that are part of this podcast show. One partner I want to highlight is a company called Custom Foodscaping. If you haven't heard of that, let me break that word down to you. Custom Foodscaping. Custom Foodscaping is a company that is built on transforming ordinary spaces within your home regarding of your garden into a place of vegetation. So it produces basically replacing your garden for food that looks like a landscape. Not only do they do that, but they also come in and do consultation work. They help build designs and they do the installation for you. So if you want to know more about their company and the reason why they are so unique, go to their website at customfoodscaping.com or follow them on Instagram, Custom Foodscaping, or find them on Facebook, Custom Foodscaping. Another company. Have anyone of you guys ever heard of Janie's Mill? I will have to tell you before I knew about the company, I don't know what Janie's Mill means, but what Janie's Mill is a company that is built on local organic stone ground flours that's built for baking, anywhere from cornbread to making pancakes to biscuits to any type of baking products that you need. Not only are they healthy for you, but their processing is done in a unique way to help keep the nutrition components to it as well as the taste. Go to their Instagram account. I promise you it will give you more perspective on what they're about. They have great pictures of bread products. You'll be amazed how they make it look so good. Their Instagram site is Janie's Mill, or go to their website at janiesmill.com and you can actually purchase and look at some of their products on their website. Last but not least, I need to give an announcement for a company in St. Louis called Sarah Food. I call them the Uber of food delivery, because what they are is a marketplace where they host local chefs in St. Louis and they match you with the consumers. Not only that, they match you with the particular diets that you're looking for. So when I say diets, obviously we mean in a good way. Everyone has different ways they eat, whether it's they need something gluten-free, something that's low carb, something that's maybe keto friendly, any type of whatever's your preference or your need, they will make sure to suffice that. If you actually go to their website, I want to give you a promo code that will give you 20% off, and they can give you a way to just try it out. The promo code is LOVE, LOVE. I want you to go there, get 20% off, try some of their foods. I promise you it will be healthy, it'll be nutritious, and it won't be so costly. So go to sarahfood.com to make an order, or again, go to their Instagram account as Sarah_Foods and just really kind of see what the company's about. So as we go into our show, get ready to hear some great conversation with Bryce Mitchell. Guys, welcome back. This is Rashonda Thornton, Dietitian Against Diets podcast. Okay, before I even go any further, this is going to be one of my most favorite interviews here. I don't want to say he's my friend, but he's my boy. I got Bryce Mitchell. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about him, then we're just going to bring him into the fold. So Bryce, he is the owner, if anyone has ever heard of New Era Fitness out there in Tower Grove area, he is the owner and CEO of that company. He's also, I've seen him back and forth. We crossed paths at least 20, 30 times on Fox 2 News. We've done a lot of TV together on Fox 2 News. And he actually does some things like on iHeartRadio. So a lot of things within St. Louis. Not too long ago, I just found out he's actually featured as one of St. Louis Post-Dispatch most thriving boutique gyms. Before I even go into that, like to even have that type of accolade, when we first talked, when we first met each other back in 2013, he started off in his garage. And he has transformed that into a 1,700 square foot space where he is training and working out with a variety of different people. And he has a very unique way that he sets up his training and his gym. So he is just really passionate about what he does. And I know like that's probably one reason we connect so much.
Yeah.
So when I was getting ready to get this podcast started, I was like, okay, one person I know for sure got to be on there, and that's Bryce Mitchell. So Bryce, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so humbled to be in your presence, lady.
Well, let me tell you, like, okay, so I say like when we first met, it was just weird how we even met, but like a lady basically connected us because I think maybe because our hair looked the same, probably, but she knew that we were both into the wellness industry. I was on the nutrition end, you was on the physical fitness end.
Right.
And we met at Bread Co. in South County.
Yes,
off of
we
Chippewa.
did. Yep, right for
And
Chippewa.
that was someone we were just getting started into our own individual businesses. And we just kind of built that connection since then. And over time, we just always have been in each other's spaces.
Always,
to where it's just like, you're like almost like my St. Louis brother versus just someone I just randomly know.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
So like one of the topics we were going to talk about, but I want to know a little bit more about you before we get into it. But one of the things that we both know about when it comes to wellness, that it's beyond the physical appearance. You know, we have a way of that we have a perspective. Well, yes, definitely everyone wants to look good in their clothes in the mirror, but it's deeper than that. You know what I mean? So like, that's one thing I do want us to talk about as we move it into this segment. But let me stop talking and I'll give you the mic because I really want to kind of know what are some things about you that maybe the world doesn't know?
Some things about that the world doesn't know. Interesting, because I'm somewhat of a private person.
Yeah.
So.
Because I know you're always on IG and you got your stories on it. Like you have a very unique way that you like put your fitness out there. You know, so a lot of times that's what people see. You know, but maybe it's a reason. What is your deeper reason as to why you or how you even got to this point to where you approach fitness in this way?
So the fitness journey started like 17 years ago, like back in high school when I took the first class, like in first period. Like it was a weight training class. And it was from that point when I was just training, maybe having that class a couple of days a week, I noticed that when I just felt better after those sessions, those little hour sessions. And I was much more aware, but I didn't really know what was going on at that time. I was just experiencing just the benefits of what we just talked about. You know, you look good, make you feel good, you want your clothes to fill out. And I'm in high school at that time, wearing some all white, dark and lovely sweatpants, like I picked up from my grandpa's house. So I was rocking those, but it just continued on. It's something that once you really get immersed in it, it's really hard to stop. It's being consistent because you want to continue to be in the presence of those feelings all the time, feeling good, having that confidence, being positive, having that energy.
What was your turning point? Like you say, you started off 17 years ago. Like, what was that pivot moment to where you said, "This is what I enjoy doing, and I think I want to turn this into something"?
When I was after high school, after a few years of JUCO and training there too, just myself, just keeping up with it. This is before like social media was really, really big and everybody was taking pictures themselves and you can just see anybody out there that you wanted that had a particular physique. Well, at the time, it was you have to meet people like personally in the gym to see those guys or those gals that had that particular body that you either wanted or you admired or and you would ask questions to those people. And I got a lot of questions. Hey, can you train? Can you train me? I want to get bigger biceps, bigger arms, whatever. All those aesthetically, all those questions that we get. And I continue to say, no, I don't want to train just because I thought that I would get burnt out myself by training other people, more people. And I was like, then I probably wouldn't want to do it myself. And just the consistency would probably go down out the window because I'd be getting burnt out, seeing, just training people constantly.
You've probably seen it before. Like,
You see it. Oh, you see it all the time. Yeah, trainers get burnt out all of the time. Then their workouts start to fall off. And then, because they just get caught up in it, so. But I met a really good friend of mine. I was coming out. This is when I was training out of my garage. I was coming out, and this is a hot summer day. It's August. It was scorching. I just came out of the gym, so I had a tank top on, a little beater on. I had some flesh. I had a little bit of flesh exposed. I'm not gonna lie. And he was like, "Hey, man, you're in really good shape. Do you train?" I was like, "Yeah, I train myself, but I'm actually certified." He was like, "Hey, look, I need to lose this. I'm on medication. I need to get off of this. I don't like what my doctor's telling me. And I was like, well, hey, look, this is what I have. I have a stability ball. I got a speed rope, and we can box, and we can go in my garage, and we can handle it. And he was like,
Start from
okay,
there.
cool. Start from there. Rashonda, like 45, 60 days later, then about 30 pounds later, he was like, yo, like, I'm off medication now. My doctor says I'm good. Like my blood pressure's regulated. Everything was starting to. He was starting to see himself actually becoming the person that he wanted to be physically, and then the
Okay.
mental piece came in. But literally, within 5 minutes of me instructing, hey, let's start this, let's start here, and let's do this. From the first 5 minutes, I knew that was it. I knew it was it. I knew it was it. That was just, it's something that just overcame me. I was really excited about it. My adrenaline was up as if I was doing the workout with him. You get those endorphins flowing.
Yeah.
Then once that was it, and then the passion just ignited. And then from that point, I went to a smaller gym and moved forward to some recreational centers that were they're just in the area. 12th and Park, shout out to 12th and Park. Cherokee Rec Center, shout out to them too, Jesse and
Had to start
and all.
somewhere.
Yeah. I started. You
Had
gotta
to
start
start
somewhere.
somewhere.
And that's kind of where it built. That's where the network began. And then just people believing in the talent, believing in me, and just reciprocating that. And people started hearing about me, and I built a business from it. So
And you know what? Like, so people see you and they want to be like you, but there's something as to why they want you to be the person that works with them. It's
Yeah.
like something they seen in you that was genuine as to like, yeah, I want to look like you, but they're basically just wanting to be a part of who you are.
Yeah.
And that goes even further.
Thank you. It does.
Yeah.
It does. And those are one of the benefits of just fitness, just being immersed in moving your body and being active and eating, right foods, is that it affects you beyond just that physical realm. It affects you spiritually, one, because, just there's a book that I've been reading. It's called Spark. And I was reading this book, and this gentleman talks about how after you train, about say 10, 15 minutes of getting your heart rate elevated, maybe 75% of your heart rate. So if you have, these, we all depend on technology, but your Fitbit, figure that out. Yeah, figure out what it is, figure out what your target heart rate is. But get to that level for 20 minutes, and I challenge you that when you get to that point and you get your heart rate up for 20 minutes, I want you to stop, sit down, and just breathe. And put your thoughts into your mind. Feel how clear your brain is. Feel how easy those thoughts come to place. If you have ideas, things like that, they come to you so very, very crystal clear, and you can build upon that. To me, I feel that's like more of it's like a direct connection to your universe, to the higher power that we're all connected to. Yeah, it's giving you that energy, it's feeding you those ideas, and fitness has allowed me to take advantage of those ideas and continue to build from there. So it's so much more than just the fit and just the aesthetic, looking good. We have to look at it into the spiritual piece and be able to reduce stress. We can think clearly. We can become those positive individuals, so we can then go out and affect other people. Because we all these hormones that are talking to each other and going up and down through the nervous system and connecting to different parts of your brain, that all ignites endorphins, and helps you feel better, helps you feel good, and just overall you become more pleasant. And people recognize that. Like, that's the biggest thing. That's what kept me in this game for so long. Is that feeling is what I've been chasing after every time I work out. And it's been like that, consistently, especially the past, let's say, like 8 years. Before, it was just, I got my foot in the door, I just want to look good. But after you get to that point, you have to get to that point. It tops off. There has to be something more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what more, that's how I define more.
And you said something just a few minutes ago about how you thought that if you were to go into this business and help work out other people, that you would get burnt out. And just the fact that, yes, that's a possibility, and that's what most people have done, but you kind of went underneath the layer of that and saw other benefits to it, how it's done for yourself. So it's like it's your way of feeding those other people to help them to get to that point to where,
Absolutely.
yes, we all know why they're coming to you. We all know, but we're going to do that. We're going to take care of that, but we're going to also tap into some other things while you're doing that, so you have a deeper appreciation as to why you're doing what you do. And one thing when it comes to movement, I know a lot of people feel it's tasking. Oh, I don't feel like getting up in the morning and going to work out. I totally get it. But I look at it as this is your body and it's meant to move. And it's
Yes.
so many different things that happens when you just get it going.
Right.
So it doesn't have to be you have to do a high intensity workout where you're sweating and you're gonna, fall out. It can just be something where you're just getting going.
Yeah.
But then you realize, you're like say you're triggering you don't even realize, what people don't realize they're triggering these other areas physiologically, when it comes to their brain health and their mental health.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
we hear studies, but people are like, oh, that sounds good, but they, have not really connected to it in that way.
Yeah, they hadn't seen it. Yeah, from that viewpoint. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so when you look at it, like it's your perspective on how your other reasons as to why you do what you do is going to keep you doing it for the rest of your life.
You're
It's like
correct.
once you know those things, like you refuse to shorten that part, your potential, what you can do or what's happening else in your body, because you just don't want to get out and do something.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
When you have your clients, because I've seen your gym, so tell me, like, I want to say it's creative, it's artistic, it's psychedelic, and it's
like
for
that.
a reason.
Yeah.
So, because when people walk into most gyms, they see the traditional racks, they see the benches, they see the dumbbells. You got a different twist to it. So, kind of give us a descriptor of what your gym is about and why you did it that way.
Yeah. So when. So okay, so let me say this. When you walk into my gym, you'll see more wood than anything. Like, so what I mean by that is there's a half rack that's designed out of wood. There's a trunk space or storage space that's actually made out of. I made it look kind of like a little mini truck. It has wheels on it, and the lid pops up and it displays the logo. So these are all handmade things. Now I found out that when you walk into the gym, there's all the colors, really lime greens. There's just about every color in the rainbow in there, and it's very non-intimidating. It's very positive when you see bright colors like that. It's very non-intimidating when you're working with wood in general, because man dates back with work. We've been working with wood for years. We have a connection to wood, and sometimes when you walk into a gym, you see a huge cage or something that's made out of metal. It can be a little intimidating. It's just kind of what it is. It's a lot that's that goes along with that. So I wanted to cultivate an environment that projects positivity. When you walk in there, you can feel the energy, and that's one of the main things that I ask, clients that come in or clients that are from the other trainers that are there. I ask them, hey, do you feel comfortable in the gym? And 10 times out of 10, yes. Yeah, I feel good. Like, it's different. It's unique. I like being here. The energy is good. The space is good.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of work that went into that. And I think the people, the population there, they understand that because everything is handmade. Like, it's made from wood. It's stained. I made the proper cuts.
Put into it.
Yeah. I mean, so it's one of those. It's one of those things that I'm going to go ahead and say it because I never thought I would use that particular skill from my father because he's a carpenter.
Okay.
And so I never thought I'd use that skill, but your dad, I used the skill and starting from holding the light, son, hold the light. Like, man, what I have to, I'm never going to use this. And 20 years later, you never know. So just if you can pick up a skill and from your parents, we don't want to listen to it. We don't necessarily want to go out and work with them and kind of learn it. Just learn it because one day you never know. You may end up using that. And it'll end up. You can create something from it.
When what I do as my profession, I work with people on a constant basis. It's more on an individual level than what you do. But I always run into people that have their struggles. And with their struggles, they're all unique. And you really kind of got to meet them where they're at and build them from that to help empower them to know that they can do more and give them the tools with that. When it comes to the physical fitness part, like do you have clients that have some of those struggles, and what's your way of like keeping them inspired, encouraged, motivated to where they get past where they thought they can get?
Focusing on the small wins, small successes. That's the easiest way to do it. You meet them where they are in the middle, and then you build upon that. So even though, let's say if it's just for example, like a clean and press. If everybody knows what a clean and press is, you can find it in the area of CrossFit. That's the staple for them. Barbell clean and press. Well, if a client comes in and never worked with a barbell and saw it for the first time, it can be a little intimidating. I need to squat, I need to press that heavy bar over my head. What? But when you start them very, very small, okay, let's do a deadlift. Let's do a proper form with the deadlift. This is how this looks. Okay, let's move to the upright row. You bring the bar to your chin. Okay, now we're gonna start flipping it. All right, and I want you to hold it, and then squat down to it. Yeah, and then you can press over your head. And it's once you give them little small tasks, little mini goals, you'll always be able to see further. You can always see beyond that. So even though it looks intimidating at first, but once you get the ball rolling and they start to build the confidence in themselves, they'll want to do more.
Yeah.
Always. They always want to do more.
You're empowering
Yeah,
them
that's exactly what it is. Yeah, and you feel good because you're using your body for what it's intended to be used for, which is to produce energy, to move an object or whatever it is. And the body doesn't understand if you're moving a brick to a dumbbell. You just knows it needs it to exert energy to move it. You know what I mean? And when you move it properly, it's empowering. You feel good about that. You want to continue to do it. Because you get that mental clarity after that. You see what I'm saying? And it goes back to that. It always goes back to the mental state.
You have to be able to do it in order to even recognize it.
Correct. Yeah. And you have to try. And you can't be afraid, to try new things. Like you have to be able, to step out of your comfort zone and be able to try new things. But, as we all understand and we know that, success just happens outside of your comfort zone. Like it's just where it is. Yeah, exactly. You have to be. Now, there's not, not to say there isn't a place where you are comfortable with where you are. You can sit back, oh, okay, I built that, I did this. That's good. That's all good. But then sometimes maybe it changes if the focus changes into a different area. And then that area, maybe it's in the area of business. Or now, okay, you get uncomfortable and you're doing new things in business now. But now that you're doing new things in business and you're creating a little bit of success, you're hitting those little small milestones, that then in turn affects maybe how you train. Oh, okay, I know this is difficult, but look what I did in this area by being uncomfortable and going after it. You know what I mean? And making small mini steps towards that overall vision. Now I know I can do it in this realm too. Yeah. So it's just it's a lot of crossover in all areas of our lives.
So true.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you're working with people, whether it's physical fitness or you're working in consulting them or like whatever realm you're working with them, your goal is to like help them to see more than what they thought they can see. Because a lot of times people come in with a preconceived idea of what it should look like or what their level should be. You know what I'm saying? And everyone starts at different places. So like meeting them where they're at and helping them to get to where they thought they couldn't get, that's only going to give them more confidence. They're going to be like, why can I do heavier now?
Oh, yeah. Like, Like, oh, yeah. I see you.
All right. And you want that because you don't want, because like when you're coaching someone, like you want them to, that obviously you're guiding them and you're going to be, you want to make sure they're correct and they're safe, but you also want them to be able to say, hey, give me more. I'm ready for the next step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Challenge
and
me.
That's that part to where they're starting to see the light of, okay, I can do more than what I thought I can do.
Right.
And similar to what you said, like it is so true. I can relate because I say this all the time. I use nutrition as a vehicle to help people to be better in other areas of their life. Because the things you learn, these obstacles you're overcoming, the way you got to be more proactive, be more thoughtful, you got to be strategic, you got to care about yourself.
Yes.
You do all these things, but that's only going to be able to infiltrate into other areas in your life that you may have. You're going to apply the same technique and the same thought process. And like you said, they're going to be better in their business. They're going to be better, just even parents. Just any dynamic, And so I think that translates as well to when it comes to physical fitness. Like, I would never not say, it's double negative, but I would never not say that everyone wants to feel comfortable in their own skin.
Right, correct.
So whatever that means, if it means you want to be all full of muscle, if you want to be just more lean, like whatever however you want to define it. But we can't do all these endeavors to chase that dream of I'm going to be happy once I'm in that skin. Because in your path to getting there, it's other things that you're going to figure out that's going to allow you to recognize what happiness is.
Yeah, that's true.
And
that's
when
true.
you work, and I feel like I already know you do this, but I still have to ask you, like, when you're working with your clients, I mean, I know you're encouraging them. You're the one. You're the energy. You're the person bringing the energy in. I remember that one time we was in the gym. I forgot what gym we were at. It was like 6:30 in the morning.
Oh, it's my Cherokee.
And you had me throwing these balls, and
up and
you're
down
all
that,
happy.
Up and down that
like,
court,
okay.
girl. Yeah.
You remember? It's like, all right, now I get the kind of energy he's giving over to his people. Like when they're like, Bryce, so they expect it from you.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're probably what makes them smile that morning or that day, you know? And when you're working with them, how do you implement your philosophy and your, like how you're telling me about the mental piece? Like I know that everyone's not there yet to hear that and receive it, so you just can't day one they come in and say, hey, these are the benefits you're going to get when you work out. Like, but how do you subtly influence them and help them to see it's bigger than just the weight?
So I revert to so most when the client comes in and we start training, they always tell you they have a funny way of telling you, and it's either they either give discouraging words to themselves and they'll say it aloud, or you can tell by like a look on their face. You get really good at reading people's language, body language, and just energy. You can sense it, and like when you sense those times, that's when you say, hey, look, you can do, you have to find different ways to encourage them. I mean, just, hey, you can do it. Yes, you can. I know it looks difficult, but let's just give it a shot. People want to be pushed, and when they're pushed and they actually achieve whatever that task is in front of them, then it's just the self-confidence comes up within themselves. And when you recognize that when they did something that they thought that they couldn't do, that's when you have to reinforce, hey, look, this is where you were and look at what you just did. Look at the mindset that you just had when you did it, as opposed to what action where you were beforehand. And you have to you have to correct it. It's kind of like when if you raising a puppy and a puppy goes in your house and you go in there and you correct it. No, don't do that. No. Bad dog or whatever. Or if they do something great, you have a treat. Hey, sit down, and they sit on the first command, and you give them praise. We operate the same way. We operate the exact same way. So when you see that person break through that, I overhead pressed, I did the clean for the first time. It's in good form. Hey, look, this was awesome. The mindset that you had to do this, you want to tap into this all the time. You have to understand that this is within you. This is innate.
You have to recognize at that moment.
At that moment, you have to spot it. You have to spot it. People constantly need encouragement. Always. And in the world of so much negativity, if you can be that positive person in their life, then they'll continue to be in contact with you. You'll continue to have an ongoing relationship, regardless if they stop training with you or not, because they know that to you, you're more than just training. You know what I mean? You're a source. You're a source of positivity. You're someone that can instill words of encouragement within them. And just, it happens that being physical is using your body physically and becoming more active is the best way that I found that allows me to actually do that and relate to the person like that. So you gotta be on top of it. Once they hit that milestone, you have to tell them and get them to tap into their minds, into their bodies with the mindset that they had at that time, so they can take a snapshot of that, and then repeat that in everything that they do.
That's like, I never thought about it like that, like how you can take advantage of that moment and help them say, you see what you just done, and the way you perceived it, the way you mentally pushed through it, you can continue to exercise that muscle, that mindset, to where you can do this even more and more often. And I mean, there was this one like show I listened to, I forgot it's called, it's sort of like a 20% rule or something, where people when people do things, they only do 20% of what their body can actually do. But it's a mindset thing. And I felt like this one guy had this guy do like, you're gonna do 200 push-ups or something, and like the guy was like, he did like 20, or he did like 40, and then the guy was like, okay, we still have 160 more to go. He was like, I can't do that. But what he did was he helped them to break it up. I mean, it's a way to do it. But like your body can go so beyond more than what you think you can do. So like, let's stop like say that negative self-talk or telling ourselves that we can't. And I know that comes from different places. Like no one wakes up in the morning and have negative self-talk. It comes from so many different places. That's why a person thinks that way. But to have go against the grain of this negative self-talk and push yourself to where you may not can do it all at one time, but
Right.
you can break it apart and do it. Like your body has the ability to do it. So it's it's such a mindset when it comes to that.
Absolutely. I mean, even, and sometimes talking to yourself positively, if you're not used to doing it, it can be uncomfortable. It can be very uncomfortable. Like I remember when I was actually started the endeavor, or began more on the positive, mind frame way of thinking. I was in my early 20s, like 22. Before that, I was quick to talk about somebody's shoes or talk about somebody's outfit that they had on, which is all negative things. Like why am I doing this? Why am I thinking this way? But and again, a lot of these things we don't have control over. Is how maybe we were brought up a certain way, and that's how we kind of interacted with our friends, our family, by cracking and making jokes, cracking about people, and that's kind of what it was. But but you come to the realization that doesn't do you any service. It doesn't bring you up anymore, and in fact, it breaks you down further. Because you're talking about another person that's just like you. You don't know what circumstance that they have, what they're going through. You don't know any of that stuff.
Have no
But then
idea.
again, so who are you to judge somebody, even if it's fun or not? Who are you to judge somebody's character like that based off of what they have, or out of your own amusement? So it was from that point is when I started learning about thinking positively and just rewiring my brain. And it was very, very difficult. It's very challenging. And you have to catch a lot of your thoughts or what goes on in your head. You got to catch it. And when something negative comes, you have to automatically stifle it, and then replace it with something, or try to erase it altogether, or something, whatever it is that whatever method you want to use to replace that thought with something positive. And once I started learning that in my early 20, 23, 24, like that just opened up a whole new reality for me, like a whole new reality. And that's when you start to create more opportunities. You start meeting the right people, the resources show up because you're in this positive field now.
People feel it,
And
people see it.
and they want to be a part of it. That's what it goes. It all goes. It's all full circle, Rashonda. It's all full circle, girl. Yep. So and people want to be a part of that, And once you start to, and go through some trial, because it was a trial and error period for me. Let me see if this positive thing really works. And then things started happening to me. But I couldn't explain it, but it was things that, that I either desired or wanted, and it would show up in my reality. My ideas began to show up on billboards, or I would listen to it. I was just thinking about this the other day. It'll show up in the commercial. I was just thinking about that. Like, that's weird. And you start to kind of see the power of your thoughts and the energy that's omitted from your brain, and the universe communicates to you almost immediately. And that's when, you begin to build more and more confidence, and you want to do that more to see how far it'll take you.
Yeah.
And this is how far it's got me so far,
And then it just turns into who you are.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But we're designed this way. Like, we are designed to be positive people. Like, it's just, I think, conditioning and other things, other people's philosophies, other people's experiences, it wears on us, and we begin to adopt that. You can say like pit bulls. Pit bulls.
They have
Pit bulls. They have this bad rap. And I own two of them. I have two of them. And I walk them, and people cross the street want to come, like, yo, they're good dogs, y'all. Like, they're good. Have you had any experience? Nah, but I don't do dogs because such and such got bit. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Get out your comfort zone. Be positive about it. Let me show you. Have a seat real quick. Let her come up to you, sniff the hand, and go ahead and pet. And you'll see how how gentle, how sweet they are. It's just
Same thing with humans.
People just need to be exposed to more positive things.
Yeah.
They just need to be exposed to that. That's it.
Yeah. Speaking of positive things, outside of the physical component of exercise, tell me, like, what's your lens when it comes to, like, obviously this podcast is called The Dietitian Against Diet. So the idea of not feeling like you're constricted to certain types of food or amounts of food to have a certain look, but how do you connect? I mean, because obviously you take care of yourself physically. So, and I've seen pictures, and we've had these conversations on the side. Like, I know you believe in my message, you believe in what I do and what I stand for.
Absolutely.
But I've never actually flipped the question onto you. Like, what's your lens when it comes to what you choose to put in your body and why? And those reasons.
So it's definitely changed over the years, as it should. As we evolve, in the human beings, our digestive system changes, the enzymes we produce changes, everything changes as we get older, and we have to adapt to that because our body will give us signs all the time if something isn't right. If we eat half a pint of ice cream and then the next morning we wake up bloated, or it hurts to take a
Tells us.
deep breath. Yeah, it's that's how my body functions. If I eat something that doesn't agree, and I'll sleep very uncomfortably. I'll wake up in the morning and it feels like I have a huge like gas bubble on my side somewhere. I mean, it's probably TMI, but it's no. I mean, it's normal. It
Everyone,
happens.
yes.
Hey, everybody experience it. So I know, like I've gotten really good at listening to my body and being able to filter out the foods that agree with me and ones that don't agree with me. And I've been more plant-based for the past 3.5 years now.
Yeah. Okay.
And it wasn't always like that because I did so I'm kind of into more so when I first started, I adopted more of the bodybuilder mindset.
Okay.
Protein, eat 5-6 meals a day, a ton of carbs, 200-300 grams of protein a day, before you train. And it's just and I look back on those days quite often like, man, what was I doing
You're just
to my
following
body?
a direction.
Yeah,
You're just
what was I
following what
doing?
everyone else without
Yeah.
connecting with your body, telling you what
Yeah,
it needs.
exactly. But one of the main things that really did it for me, as far as transitioning to more like a plant-based lifestyle, was the fact that you can go to 5 different places that all offer chicken or beef or whatever it is, and they all taste different, and the texture of it is all different. And it's like chicken is supposed to be a chicken. Like it's supposed to have the same texture across the board. It's the same.
Things are
Yeah, it's
changing.
the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you go to a fast food restaurant, to a 5-star restaurant, to something in between, and it all tastes different. And to me, it's like it was a turn off for me. I didn't, and then eventually, like those particular foods, it didn't interest me anymore. And
Yeah.
then once I found out it stopped interesting me to that level, I stopped eating it as often.
Yeah.
But even if I would have a burger or something like that, maybe like it's been 5 days and I decided to have a burger and I would eat something, my stomach would hurt immediately.
Yeah.
I have a stomach ache. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. I've been
starting-
eating this for like 20 years. Why all of a sudden,
Your gut
just after 5
changes.
days, yeah, it's hurting now. So that was around the time that kind of galvanized the whole plant-based lifestyle for me.
Got
And
it.
from that point,
Yeah.
I kept getting rid of stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, because the grandma in me is gonna make a pound cake. Look,
We're gonna get a piece of that pound
I'm
cake.
gonna get a piece of that pound cake. I'm gonna have some butter. There's gonna
Yeah.
be some eggs. I'm going to do that,
Yeah.
But it just depends on what level you want to take it. If you're looking at avoiding cancer, health benefits, things of that nature, then they say 20% of or less of animal protein, you're fine. Those cancer cells they don't grow. Once you get past that threshold, that's when those cancer cells begin to grow and they begin to spread. But again, this is
Yeah.
over years and years and years and years.
And also the type and
Yeah,
I mean,
the type where it's coming from.
and even
yeah.
what's processed and what's
It was-
clean. And there's
exactly.
so many
Yeah,
different moving
uh-huh.
pieces. But I think the biggest picture is just, and then, I say this all the time, give your body what it needs. And when you are
Yeah.
more in tune with your body, like if you need a little bit more carbs, you need
Yeah.
a little bit more, like you can pick up on it. And
Yeah.
that's important because we need to connect to what our body's telling us.
Right.
And I think people, I don't want to say, I don't want to like put a negative connotation on what I think people think, but we're taught to just count these calories or if it says lean, clean, light on it, okay, it's healthy. Well,
Yeah,
that's-
yeah.
And it may be a better choice, but we have to recognize what it is that our body needs and connecting to our body in that way. And to me, that allows you to know how much you need.
Oh,
You
yes.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You can pick up on, okay, if I didn't feel good about this afterwards, okay, you know what? It's not that I'm going to block myself from having it. Just not interested
Right.
anymore.
Yeah.
It's a whole
Yeah.
nother perspective
Yeah.
because it's not about saying you can't have something. Sometimes you just choose to or not to.
Right.
And then there's a balance.
Yeah.
The pound cake balance.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
It's always a balance. Like, yes, we're putting things in our body that's going to give us the ability to live as its best, But we also think that we just enjoy, whether it's associated with because we love our grandmother, it's the
Right. Yeah.
holidays,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah. Yeah.
all a balance.
Yeah.
So we can find a way to kind of live in our own balance. That
Yeah.
we have different balance.
Right.
Like we can be in a position where we're more liberated and just taking care of our body and not feeling like there's a good or there's a bad. It's not
Right.
black and
Correct.
white, you know?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I wish I had like 10 more minutes
What?
to talk.
What? Hold on.
Yes.
No.
So you know what's gonna happen? We're gonna have you have to come back and do a part 2. Seriously,
Got it.
because
Got it.
I didn't
Got
even
it.
get through all my questions. You know what I mean? And I knew this was gonna happen. But I think the most important piece is that I was able to just start the conversation with you because some of these things I didn't know, like even the mental component of it, like I mean, yes, I know you feel good, your endorphins, all those feel good hormones come when you work out, but there is more like research-based evidence about how it actually helps you to have more clarity. I mean,
Absolutely.
the Spark book, you told me about the Spark
Yeah,
book,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, so
Awesome
I think that's
book.
something that may be a good read.
Amazing book.
Yeah.
Awesome book.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 Yes.
But Bryce, I really do appreciate you coming
Thank
on
you for
my
having me
show.
here. Thank you for having me.
And we talked about your gym,
Yeah.
and I know most people that are listening are probably in the St. Louis area. So I want to give you an opportunity to kind of like give us like where you're at,
Yeah.
what's going. You got anything going on over the next couple of months?
Yeah.
Where's your faith? All your social media. Like,
Yeah.
this is your time to throw your
It's-
plug
it-
in. Ready?
It's my time to shine.
Your time.
So okay, so you can find me on social media accounts. Instagram is New Era Fitness 2012. You'll find me there. Also Facebook, not too instrumental, but I'm getting better at it on Facebook. But you can find me at Bryce Mitchell, which is my personal page, or New Era Fitness is the business page. Also, you can email is. They do email too. I guess do
Yeah,
email.
yeah.
I do all that
Word
stuff.
on
And,
that.
oh, this title. Okay, I don't know if there's something coming up or something. Okay, so my email is Bryce BRYCE at newerafitness.net, and I'm located. My gym is located at 3165 Morganford Road. So that's in the Tower Grove area. So we have really good scenery around there. It's really, really bright, very hip, very happening. Really good area to be in. And
The website.
yeah, website. There you go. Website. Your website is newerafitness.net,
Okay.
and you'll see that there. Coming up. So I've been really going back and forth in my mind about beginning a book club actually, and the book club is solely focused on self-development and becoming more positive and just more aware and more in tune. So that's coming up soon. It'll be launching 2020. I'll put posts out and send emails out for that too. But it's gonna be very very fun. It's gonna be something different than you would get out of a typical gym. If you go into my gym, you know it's not a typical gym anyway.
Yeah,
Just
you figure
just
it
walk.
out.
Yeah. So I'm incorporating the lifestyle aspect of it because fitness is a lifestyle. You know, it's something that should occur regularly throughout your life, and when it does, you know, it has the power to affect other areas of your life. So the gym is on its way to becoming more of the lifestyle. And
Well, I'm
bring
so
more people
excited
in,
to
so,
see it continue to grow because again, you started in the garage,
Yeah,
right?
started in
And
the garage,
so
girl, yeah,
it's the reason
yeah.
why it's building and becoming so successful.
Mhm.
The one thing I like about what Bryce stated he just now was the connection between your mental. The way you think and the way you feel when it comes to exercise. Because a lot of times we just go through the motions because that's what we have to do. It's beyond the physical appearance. It's actually like how can we tap into other areas in our lives and even just mentally put
Yeah.
us in a position where we can
Yeah.
push harder,
Right. Correct.
go faster,
mhm.
or go more often because those are tools that are going to help us to maybe infiltrate in other areas of our lives.
Yeah,
You know.
absolutely.
Again, Bryce, I appreciate you
Thank you
coming.
for shining, girl.
And we will
It's
have
always
to
good.
do this
I hope
again.
so. Oh yeah.
Well, thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks for
As
having
I
me.
said, this is Rashonda Thornton, the dietitian against diets. Let's change the mentality of the diet mentality. Take the straps off and live a life of freedom by changing the way we look at food. Thanks again, and I will talk to you guys soon. You see I'm smiling. I am smiling because that's one of my most favorite people. He is so charismatic. If you haven't seen in the interview that we just had, this dude loves exercise. He has a meaning behind it. And if you go to his gym, you will see exactly what he means by having a very artistic and unique way that he works with his clients and how he approaches fitness. So as we're closing out, there are several companies that are part of this being here. One I do want to give a high regard to is Midwest Dairy. They are a Dairy Council coalition here in the Midwest area, where it is a coalition of dairy farmers that wants to create a conversation to help the consumers understand where the dairy comes from, why it's so important, and how can it benefit them in their daily lives. Undeniably, dairy is their main campaign to help us to better understand and connect with where our food, our dairy comes from. So go to their website at undeniablydairy.com and get some of their recipes. You get some more research behind some of the health benefits to including dairy products into your life, and even kind of see some of the lives of the dairy farmers and the cows, so you can really kind of connect with where your food comes from. Undeniably Dairy. Green bean delivery. Only thing I say about green bean delivery is if you are not wanting to step outside of your home and you want to have foods that you know that are going to be organic, that is going to be clean foods, it's also going to be something that's local, you want to go to greenbeandelivery.com. Their website where it's kind of like your grocery store on your phone or on your computer, where you can select what foods that you want, and then they actually collect it for you and place it in front of your front door in this green bin. So that's where the green bean delivery part comes from. If you want to try some of their products out, I encourage you to go. They do have a promo code to get 20% off on your first 3 orders. It is Better Vessel, BetterVessel. You get 20% off. There's no sign-up fee. There's no undercover charges. You get on. You don't have to become like the subscription member. You can do it one time if you want to try it out, and then kind of go from there. So check it out at greenbeandelivery.com, or go to the IG account at Green Bean Delivery. Last but not least, Banner Roads. You may not even know what that word means, but Manor Rose is actually a baking granola company here in St. Louis. They're here out of Brentwood. I know the chef personally, and she actually was a chef before she built her own company. But the significance of Banner Rose granola is that they really make sure that they're not putting anything artificial in any of their granolas. Their granola is really not on the super sweet end. It's more on the savory end. So there's combinations like turmeric in some of their stuff. They have ginger and molasses. So they have very unique ways of how they put their flavors together. And I think what it does is kind of create more opportunity to try something different when it comes to granola. You can have it as a cereal. You can have it on top of your yogurts, or you can even make your own like granola bars with it. So go to Banner Roads Bakery, and you will be able to kind of see their different varieties of granola. They definitely have they have a website. That's the website. But if you go to their IG account at Banner Roads Bakery, let me take that back. Banner Roads, just Banner Roads, BANNER Roads, ROADS. And you will see what I mean when I say they have very unique ways of utilizing granola. So shout outs to Banner Roads and the other companies for making the Dietitian Against Diets a part of this platform. You guys have a great week, and I will see you next time.